Hey, what's up everybody? This is Titans of CNC Academy, and I am excited because we are making CAD education easy, all right? So we're about to show you a tutorial, and this tutorial is gonna take your skills to a whole nother level. But before we start, I wanna inspire you. Go to academy.titansofcnc.com, our free curriculum website. Go up to resources, drop down and download Fusion 360 for free. Down below is the link, and when you click on it, you can download the dimension drawing for this part for free. All right, so you ready to take your skills to greatness? Here's my boy, Billy Boyce, AKA the CAD Beast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Titans of CNC Academy. My name is Billy Boyce, and right now I'm going to take you through modeling a part from our 5-axis series, and that is Titan-109. So if you're at the website at academy.titansofcnc.com, you can come over here to Education, come down to Mill 5-axis status, come over to Titan-109M, go ahead and select it, and then over here on your right hand side is the drawing. So you'll want to go ahead and download the drawing, and you just simply click on the PDF. It'll take you to the Autodesk 360 site, and there your print will be. So once you have that, we can come over to Fusion, make sure we're in our model space, and I'm just going to start off with a new file or new design. First thing I'm going to do is start a sketch. So I'm going to come up to Sketch, and I'm going to use the polygon tool, and I don't really care which one I use right here of these two. I'm just going to go with the top one. And I'm going to create this on the right plane, which is this one here. If you look up at the cube, you have the right plane, front, top. So I'm going to go with this right one here. I'm going to start right in the center, and I'm just going to click and drag out. And I'm going to drag out to the left or the right because I want the point to be at the top there, just like the print. And I'm just going to click. And then I'll press D for dimension, and I'm going to do a dimension across there, and we have a dimension of 2.555. Enter. I'm going to press C for circle, or you can come up to Sketch, center diameter circle. You can also add that quick draw up there to your ribbon. I'm going to press C for circle. And now I'm going to do the through hole. So that's 1.4. Enter. Enter again. And then we kind of have that shaved down section in the middle, which was 2 inches. So I'm going to press C for circle again. Click right there. Type in 2. Press enter and enter again. And then I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm just going to take those 2 sections right there, and we have an overall length of 5 inches. So I'm going to say 5. Enter. And we had done a few of this. We did the next cut that we're going to do in that sketch, and it just disappeared. So to get that back, we'll come over here to the left, click that little drop down under sketches, and you see that light's off. We want to turn that light back on. And now there's our sketch again. So now we'll right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that section right there. And we come over here to our extrude menu. And instead of starting on the profile plane, which is where we did the sketch, we're going to offset it to be down here at the 4-inch mark. So we'll just say offset plane. We're going to offset it to -4. whoops, we'll just say 4 then. And then the distance is going to be 2.5, and that wants to be a negative. Then we just say OK, and now we've got that cut there. Go ahead and turn that sketch off, and we'll start another one. So I'm going to press C for circle. I'm going to choose that surface. I'm going to snap right in the middle, and I'm going to do that other outside diameter of this like flange here. So it's going to be 2.4. Press enter, enter again. You can press C again, or you could even right click and just say repeat circle, because that's what we're doing. That's going to be the 1.9. Enter, enter again. We can go ahead and right click, press pull. We're going to do this section, and we can do this inside section. They are both minus 0.3. And you can just go ahead and type minus 0.3, or you can come over here, highlight this box, minus 0.3. And then you'll see we got that cut there. We have a taper out here on this hex. So we'll go ahead and press C for circle. Going to select that surface. And that's going to be a 2.5. We'll say enter, enter again. C for circle. I'm going to go 5 inches. Then we'll right click, press pull, select that whole circular area. We want to make sure we're getting that involved. We'll say minus 0.25. We'll press tab, which will take us to our taper angle. And we'll say minus 50. Press enter. And now we got that cut there like that. There's a fillet here at the bottom, so I'm just going to press F for fillet. Select that bottom one, and that was a 60 thou, 0.06. Enter. We have another tapered cut on the inside here. So I'm going to press C for circle. I'm going to choose that surface. Start right in the middle again. And I can see that's a 1.8. Enter, enter again. I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that whole area. I'm going to say minus 0.25. And then I'm going to tab and say minus 45. Enter, and there we go. So now we need to do the bolt holes on there. So let me kind of reorientate us here. Okay. Press C for circle. I'm going to choose that surface. Click right in the middle. And we have a bolt hole circle of 2.15. Enter, enter again. And it's not necessary for me to do this, but I just have a habit of doing it. I'm going to click this circle and press X. That's just going to turn it into a dotted line. Now we're going to go to Sketch, Point, and what we're going to do is place a point for our bolt holes. So I'm just going to just snap it right here, and then I'm going to use some constraints to get it where we want it. First thing I'm going to do is do the coincident. I'm going to do that dot to the circle, and then I'm going to do a horizontal vertical with that and that one, and that puts it straight up there, and that's where we want it. So now we can go ahead and create the hole and threads. So we'll go to Create, hole. Just going to go ahead and pick that spot. You see the dialog box come up, and when I hover over it, you can see it says depth. So first thing we want to do is the depth. That's going to be a 0.310 deep, and then we can press tab, and that'll change to the diameter, and the diameter is 0.136, and then we can just press enter. Then we can go up to create thread, and what you want to do is just select the wall of that hole there. We want to model it. It's not going full length. We're not going to do any kind of offset, and the length of the thread is 280.28. Enter. And now we want to do a slight chamfer around that, just kind of a nice lead in. So we're going to press C for circle. We're going to choose that surface. I'm going to go right to the center of that hole. It'll kind of snap to it, and I'm going to drag that out. And let's see. We'll do a 145. 0.145. Enter. Enter again. We can right click, press pull. It automatically selected this inside area because that's where we were when we right clicked. And then we can select that other piece to create a full circle. We can say the distance is going to be minus 0.1. We're going to tab and say minus 45. And that kind of just simulates a nice little chamfer all the way around there. So the next thing we're going to do is make our copies all the way around. So the way we do that is we're going to go to create, pattern, circular pattern. We want to change this little menu here to pattern type. Let's change it to features. That drilled hole, the threads, and that 45 are all features. So once we selected that, the next thing highlights, it wants us to know what objects. So we'll come down here, we'll choose our hole, we'll choose the thread, and we'll choose that chamfer. We'll come over to axis and select that box. We can use this red line, or you can also choose a circle, and it'll choose the center of that circle. And since this is a bolt flange based on that circle, it's real easy to just go ahead and select that circle. The next thing that pops up is the quantity, and you're automatically selected in there. Like you can instantly just type. You don't got to go select anything else, so you can just type in 10. Press enter. And now you have all those threaded holes with your nice chamfer on there. I believe that is it for this end. So we'll go ahead and hop over to the other end of it. Trying to keep our orientation straight. So you should be able to come over to the front and just pick that corner, pick the right. Nothing will rotate or turn. You should be good to go. So we'll go ahead and start some more sketches. So we're going to press C for circle. Choose that surface. Click right in the center, and we'll do that major diameter there of 2.45. Enter, enter. C for circle. Now we're going to do the 1.625. Enter, enter again. We can go ahead and do our bolt flange. So C for circle, right in the center. Our BHC is 2.038. Enter, enter again. And here's the reason why I like to go ahead and turn that to a dotted line, because now I'll know. Just ignore that circle. That's not going to be used for anything other than that bolt hole circle. So I'm going to just select it, press X, and now it goes out of the way. You can also notice when I hover over this area, you kind of get that different color, and it's in those two circles. Well, when this is a solid line, it breaks that up. So sometimes if you're going to extrude something, that'll just mess it up, especially if that's the only thing you're using it for is a location. So I just turn it to a dotted line, no issues. Let's go ahead and place our bolt point. So we'll go over to Sketch, Point. You can attach it to there, and it automatically adds the constraint, the coincident constraint. But now we can do the horizontal vertical, because again, we want this one straight up. Okay, now we can use this sketch and start doing something. So I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that right there. That will be minus 0.4. Enter. And you'll notice again our sketch disappeared, so we can just come over here to our sketch over here on the left, and we can turn that light bulb on and we'll get that sketch back. So now I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that one, and that is minus 0.3. Enter. And then we have another circle, it looks like, so we'll press C for circle. But actually, first thing we need to do is hit escape, get out of that, and we'll have to turn this sketch back off because it won't let us get past. See that? It stays up there. So we'll turn that off real quick. C for circle, click down there, start in the center again. That's a 1.49. Enter, enter again. Right click inside that circle. Select that other circle. Say minus 0.1. Tab, minus 45. Enter. And now we've got that little chamfer in there. There's also a fillet right here, so F for fillet. Select right there. It's a 60 thou, yeah, 0.06. Enter. And now let's go ahead and add that bolt hole. So we'll turn that light back on. Sketch number 7. We'll go create hole. I'm going to choose that point. It is a depth of 400.4. Tab. The diameter is 0.213. And enter. We can go ahead and turn that sketch off now. And we'll go to create thread. We'll select the wall of that hole again. Yes, we want it modeled. No, we don't want it full length. We want no offset. The length of the thread is going to be 350.350. The thread type is a 1/428. So we'll come over here to size. We'll do this drop down and we'll go down to 1/4. And then we'll change this drop down to 1/428. Then we'll just say OK. And there we go. So again, let's do that chamfer lead in. So we're going to press C for circle. Choose that surface. Go right to the middle. So I'm going to hit escape. So it started editing an older sketch, it looks like. No? Oh, something weird happened here. Stop the sketch. So sometimes I've had this happen. So what we'll do is we'll go back to this thread, say edit feature. And for some reason, it's starting at the bottom and working its way out. I do not know. That just happens. I have that happen sometimes. So I'm going to try to select it again, turn off full length, and see it's doing that again. And there's no flip direction. So what I'm going to do is cancel this. And what I've had to do to fix this before, I don't know why it did that. I just delete it usually, is all I have to do. The hole was fine. So now we'll go create, thread, pick that wall. Don't want it to be full length. I want it modeled. It was 350 for the thread. Okay, see, now it's working. So if anybody ever has that happen, just delete that thread from your timeline down here and do it again, because you can't make any selections to fix it. If anybody knows why that happens, please let me know. So that was a size of 1/4. Designation was 1/4 350 deep, modeled. We'll say OK. And we'll go ahead and create that sketch for the chamfer now. So I'm going to press C for circle. I'm going to click that surface, snap right to the middle, drag this out, and let's do a 255.255. Enter, enter again. Inside the circle, I'll right click, press pull. I'll choose that section as well. I'll just say -0.1, tab, -45. Enter, and there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and do the rotations again. So we'll go create, pattern, circular pattern. It's still selected on features, so we'll choose the hole, the thread, and the chamfer. We'll select axis, and we'll just select one of our circles. And it says 8 times. So we'll do 8 times, but we can look at the print and know right here we have this little cutout. Now we did 8 times on the print just so you can get the right spacing. And then here you just click that check mark and it won't add that hole, but it keeps the spacing the same. And then we just say OK. So now we'll add that little cutout right here. Press C for circle. I'm going to click right here. It's a 1/2 inch, 0.5. Enter, enter again. I want to get it in line with the center point here, so we'll just go horizontal, vertical. I'll click right here, and I'll click right here. And now all I have to do is add the dimension from center to center. So D for dimension. I'll click here and here. That is a dimension of 1.377. Gonna right click, press pull. I'm gonna choose this and this, and I'm gonna say -0.4. Enter, and there's our cut. And I'm gonna wait to the end to do a lot of our edge chamfers because there's a bunch of them, not a bunch of them, but we're gonna do some. So let's just do it all at once. Real quick, let's go ahead and do this corner radius. So I'm gonna say F for fillet, go here and here. That's a typical 50 thou, 0.05. Enter, and there's a couple ways you can do this. I could have went around and selected each one, and that's fine. But I'm just gonna go do it real easy. I'm gonna just do those. Create another pattern. Leave it on features. Actually, I want to change it to surfaces or faces. and I'll just select that fillet. Select axis, select that. We'll say 6 times. We'll say OK. And so that just threw those fillets on all of them. So looking at the print, it looks like we can do this this boss here that's on the side. So what we'll do is we'll go to offset plane, and we'll come over here to the left and turn on the origins light. We'll select this plane, which is the front plane, and we have a offset dimension of 1.235. Say enter. And now we're going to just sketch a rectangle off of that. So we'll go sketch, 2-point rectangle. We'll select that plane. And I'm just going to real quickly just drop a rectangle. I'll press D for dimension. And we have an overall of 600.6 and a length of 1 inch. So we can select that edge and that center point, and it's basically half, so 0.3. We'll go from, we'll have to add a point here, so we'll go sketch, point. We'll snap to the middle. You see that little triangle? That means you're in the center of that line. I'll press D for dimension. Go from that point to this point. That's 2.640. And then we also have 2 more points here. So we'll go sketch, point, real quickly, just slap a couple of them down. We want these 2 to be horizontal vertical with each other, and horizontal vertical to this center point right here. And then we'll add dimensions. So D for dimension, from here to this point, 2.35. From here to here, 2.93. Enter. We'll say stop sketch. We're going to right click, press pull, select that rectangle, and we can kind of just rotate it a little bit here. We're going to join, and over here we'll say, on the extent, we'll say to object. Go ahead and select that object. Then we'll come over to taper angle, and that will be minus 30. No, just 30. 30 degrees. Then we can say OK. We'll press F for fillet. We'll select those 4 corners. Those are a fillet of 125.125. Enter. We'll press F for fillet again and do this bottom. That is a dimension of 0.175. Enter. Now we're going to put the chamfer around the top. So we'll go modify chamfer. Click right there, and that is a 10thou, 0.01. Let's go ahead and turn that sketch back on, and we'll create the holes. So create hole. We'll click that point, this point. We have a depth of 0.35. We'll tab, and then a new dimension of 0.1495. And we can just press enter, and we're done. Go ahead and turn that sketch back off. And now we'll add the threads. So we'll go thread, we'll go create, thread. We'll select that wall. If you're using a Mac, it'll be Command. You'll hold Command and select that wall. If you're on PC, it'll be Control. And that way you can just select both of those. We'll go ahead and model them. We don't want them full length. We have a depth of 300.3, a size of 1024, so number 10, and it defaults to 1024. So then we'll just say OK. And let's do our chamfer lead in again. So C for circle. We'll choose that surface. And we'll just click in the middle and drag out. 200 looks like a great number. 0.2, enter, enter. Inside one of these circles, we'll right click, press pull. We'll make sure the circle is fully selected. We'll say minus 0.1, tab, minus 45, enter. And there we go, that boss is complete. That should be everything for the first print, page number 1 or sheet 1. We can now move to the next one. And here we'll do those big side cutouts and that hole on the side. Let's go ahead and do the hole on the side. Actually, first thing I want to do, real quick, just to make life easy, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select all of these. So I'm going to hold down Shift. So there's our first extrusion with that taper angle. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to hold Shift and go all the way to the end. And that's that whole entire thing. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click and just create a group. And that way we're going to end up revolving this, but we're going to do a couple more features and then we're going to just do everything at once instead of doing 3 different large revolves. So now we can go ahead and start. Let's do this like fitting here on the side. It's going to be kind of rotated. So I'm just going to press C for circle. I'm going to choose that surface. I'm going to click right here, and that's a diameter of 0.625. Enter, enter again. Again, I want that in line, so I'm going to do horizontal vertical between that point and this point. I'm going to press D for dimension from here to here, 0.994. Enter. I'm going to press C for circle. Go right to the center again. That's a 300.3. Enter, enter again. Now I'm going to press L for line. And here I'm going to do a tangent line off of this circle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click it and hold. And I'm going to drag, and you'll see that tangent symbol. And then I'm just going to drag it out. I don't care if it doesn't, like I'll do one crooked, just so you see it. And then you can also, just do it straight. But the way you fix that real quick is you can just come over to horizontal vertical and select it, and it'll straighten it out. And I'll do that to this one too, just to make sure. We also have another cut. So this is the counter bore. This is the through hole. This is that groove. And then we know we have kind of like an O-ring groove or a cut in there. So let's go ahead and sketch that now. We'll press C for circle. I'm going to go right to the middle again. And I know it's a little bit bigger. So that's 675, 0.675. Enter, enter again. Okay, so I'm going to right click inside the little circle. I'm going to say press pull. I'm going to kind of rotate this map or this model around. And I'm going to change this extent to object. And I'm just going to select the inside and it'll cut right to that surface. I'll say okay, and that is good. And again, our sketch disappeared. We still have this open and set up, so we can just say select. Let's select that point. Now I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that section. That will be a depth of -0.3. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose this and that. That is a distance of -0.15. Enter. And now we're going to do that like key cut in there. So we'll go right click, press pull. We'll choose that section. Let's just go ahead and get that donut. Here, under start, we'll say offset. And we're going to offset that -0.25. And then the distance is going to be 65.065. Enter. And there we go. So we can turn that sketch off now. Press F for fillet. I'm going to select there and here. That's a radius of 0.125. Enter. F for fillet again, here and here. 0.05. Enter. And now we have to draw there's a little chamfer down here at the bottom. So we're going to press C for circle. Select that bottom surface. Snap right there in the middle. Drag that out. And that is a 0.5. Enter, enter again. We'll right click in that small circle, press pull, select this other circle. We'll say -0.25. Then we'll tab and say -45. We'll press enter, and that'll give you that nice big chamfer. So now we need to add the bolt holes around this cutout here. So I'm going to press C for circle. I'm going to choose that surface. We're going to snap right to the middle and drag that out. Our bolt hole circle is 1 inch. Again, I'm going to click it, press X, get the dotted line there. We'll go sketch, point. Just going to snap it to the circle. Come over here to horizontal, vertical. Snap the center, snap that. And then we could say stop sketch. We're going to go create, hole. I'm going to select right there. That is a distance of 0.31. Going to tab and go 0.135. I'll press enter. And there's our hole. So let's go ahead and create our thread. We'll go create thread. Choose the sidewall of that hole. We want it modeled. No, we don't want it full length. We have a depth of 280.28. And a size of 832. So size, we'll go 8 and 832. And we'll say OK. And we'll do the chamfer relief. So C for circle. That surface. Click right in the middle. 0.170. Enter, enter again. Right click inside the circle, press pull, select that other section. We'll say minus 0.1, tab minus 45, enter. And we got that all cleaned up. So now we'll do a create pattern, circular pattern. We'll make sure that is on features. Going to select the hole, the thread, and the chamfer. We'll select axis. We'll do it around this circle here. We'll say 4 times, and we'll turn this one off. We'll say OK, and there we go. I believe that completes this whole little section here. So we can go down here to our timeline. I'm going to go ahead and select our first sketch. I'm going to hold Shift and grab all of that, and then I'll right click and create a group. Now we can go ahead and do these side cutouts here. So we'll go ahead and go up to Sketch, choose Rectangle. Let's do a 2-point rectangle. We're going to do it on this surface. And I'm going to just kind of click right here and just drag this out like that. I'm going to press D for dimension. I'm going to go from here to here. And that was going to be 5. ½ inch. Press D for dimension. I'm going to select right there. Our overall is 1.225. Go from here to here. Be 0.613. Enter. I'm going to press O for offset. And then you want to make sure that this chain selection is unchecked. And then we'll just select that right there. And we'll say minus 0.155. Enter. And then what I'll do is I'll just delete that line. We'll come up here to Sketch and we'll say Fillet. We'll just click the corner. It defaults to a 300, which is what we want. We'll just select right there, and then we'll press Enter. We're going to press L for line, and we'll just throw a line here and a line here. We'll press D for dimension. I'm going to choose this point and that line. 1.95. Enter. I'm going to go from this edge to that line. That's 1.5. Enter. I'm going to right click, press pull. I'm going to choose that section. Kind of rotate it here. I'm going to say distance. I'm going to say to object. I'm going to click that diameter. And you can see it's cutting all the way through. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to just click this guy here. It says extended faces. And then I'm going to say offset 1 inch. Or 100 thousandths, 0.1. And you see what that does is it keeps that diameter, but then it offsets away from it. And that's exactly what we wanted. Now, the only other thing we need to do is add that taper angle. And we can see that was minus 45. Let me say enter. And there we go. We lost our sketch, so we want our sketch back. So we'll come over here and turn that last light bulb on. And we'll right click, press pull. We're going to do that section and this section. And again, we're going to do distance. We'll go to object. Select that diameter. Change that to that. We're going to say an offset of 135.135. we have a taper angle of 35 degrees, so minus 35. And then we can press enter. Let's go ahead and turn that sketch off and add our fillets. So F for fillet. Let's select that, this, that, and this. And that is a typical 0.175. Press enter. And that feature is done. So we'll go ahead and come back down to our timeline here. Select that, hold shift, select that guy. We will right click, create a group, and you can come back and you can rename the groups whatever you want. So we have this feature done, this pocket on the side, and this boss. So now let's go ahead and make the copies all the way around. So what we'll do is we'll go create pattern, circular pattern. I'm going to leave that to features. I'm just going to select that one, and that one. We can say axis. We'll just go ahead and rotate around that. Give it a second. We're going to do it 3 times. We say OK. And there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our fillets to this base here. So I'm going to press F for fillet. I'm going to select here and there. And that's a 145. So 0.145. We'll press enter. And then we'll just do our 10 thousandths chamfers. So we'll go modify chamfer. I'm going to select here, 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 there. The inside and outside of our bolt patterns. And that's it. So we'll say 0.01, enter. Take a look at it here. Looks like everything is good. So there you go. That's the Titan 109.